All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Power That Be. It's awesome to be here. Guess what? We are on our way to see an amazing person. This person helps people figure out what their dream jobs are, and that is exciting. That's something that we all yearn for, and not only that, does it affect us in a huge way? Absolutely it does. So I'm extremely honored to be on the way to speak with this person. So thanks for being here, and come along. This is going to be a great ride.
Wondrous ways of living reside all around us. You might ask yourself, what do others do differently? How is it that some people in this world feel great every day, all day long, and they don't appear to worry about tomorrow? What does it really take? Happiness really means to feel fulfilled in every aspect of your life. This doesn't mean that you don't continue to grow, but it means that you feel fulfilled in how you're growing in every area. There are a lot of healthy, rich, privileged, intelligent, and powerful people in this world. Surprisingly, a large number of them are still not truly happy. It is quite apparent that we as people can focus on one area of our lives and get very good at it. However, this does not mean we feel fulfilled. A person may be very healthy and make a lot of money, but they spiritually have no idea why they're here. One of the big reasons people feel unfulfilled is their career choice. This is an exceptionally important area because we spend at least 1/3 of our day working. This is providing that we don't own the business that we're working with. As we go day in and day out, our passions drop away slowly as we scurry about trying to make ends meet. It then becomes a world of responsibility. Somewhere down the line, we taught ourselves that responsibility is what life is, and that enjoying ourselves is only allowed after our responsibilities are taken care of. What if we didn't have to live this way? What if our career was a way of life that brought us to life in every moment and made responsibility an invigorating practice? People are doing it. Even if it's not the majority, people are doing it everywhere. So how do we find a career like this? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Take 3. All right, so we're here. We've got the wonderful Stacy Harshman. Thank you so much for having me. This is an absolute honor.
Thank you.
Stacy is a certified career coach. She's helped people awaken their dreams, shift their focus, also unlock the tools necessary to have a fulfilling life. I was kind of checking out what some of the people have said about you, and it's just astounding the reputation you have. They've said that she's talented, trustworthy, and enlightening. This is by all the people that she's helped find their career, so that's wonderful. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today, is some of the important things that come along with revealing those important factors about choosing the right career and also having a fulfilling life. I think a lot of times people separate those things. They think their right career is in a certain direction, and then they end up not feeling so fulfilled. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but really the first thing I just wanted to ask you is, what is career coaching?
Well, career coaching is a relatively new profession. It's probably only about 25 years old or so. And so it's taking coaching and pairing it with career management to come up with what I call myself a career management coach. Wow. So a career coach is someone that helps a person discover what their fulfilling career is, and then helps them through the job search process also.
Wow.
So a career counselor that we normally think of usually works in a school system, and they can be more of the expert, where a career coach is not somebody that's an expert per se as telling you what to do, but it's a very interactive process where I am asking you questions, but the answer really comes from the person themselves. So I am not acting as the expert saying this is the career for you. It's the person discovering that for themselves.
Wow.
Which I think is becoming a more fulfilling process all the way around.
That's absolutely amazing, because it's interesting how you can help them through the initial thing that they were dealing with anyways. It's always up to you. That's awesome. So how did you come about getting into this? Like, how did you start doing career coaching?
Well, I had my own career transition to go through. I was working for Albertsons here in the corporate office in Boise as a recruiter. Absolutely loved that job.
Wow.
And then I also worked for American Red Cross as a recruiter. But my dad became ill and was hospitalized at the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I was having to fly back and forth, and I knew I needed something more flexible. So I had heard about coaching through a magazine article, and I really didn't know what it was. But I thought, this sounds like an interesting process, so I'm going to try it myself. So I did the old-fashioned thing, looked in the phone book to see what coaches were here, and I identified 2 coaches, called both of them. One called me back, and I started working with her. And the more I started working with her, the more I thought, I love this process. I love the coaching process, because it wasn't her telling me what I wanted to do. It was me coming up with the answers on my own, but I was being led through this process. So again, the more I worked with her, the more I thought, I love this. And then I found out that I could take my career management recruiting experience, pair that with coaching to specialize in becoming a career management coach.
Wow, that's amazing. And I can attest to that 100% because actually it's Stacy who I originally talked to become part of the coaching association here where we are, and that's amazing. I can totally, so hopefully my path leads something similar to what yours did. That's amazing.
Yes, yes, and I think it's different for everybody, but the exciting part is to see those different paths that you can go down.
Absolutely. And I really like how you included the fact that you had something that you needed. You needed time, freedom, and to be able to travel, and you made it happen. And so that's amazing. I think that could be reassuring to people that may have those type of obstacles in their life, and knowing that you can choose a career that will fit that. You're not locked in, and security is not the end-all, be-all of what you get to do in this life.
Right, exactly.
That's
There's
amazing.
a lot more to it
Yes.
than just making money.
Thank you. So what would you say is the biggest roadblock that people face when they're searching for a job?
Well, I think a lot of times people do not have a clear vision of where they want to go. So they look online and they just apply for things that they see, but no vision of really where they would like to go. So I start with people in developing their vision of where they would like to go. And then we concentrate on that, so it's a targeted job search.
Wow.
What makes your heart sing? And then we go after how you're going to do the job search strategy. Because a lot of people don't think about what makes my heart sing. They just start with the job search.
Right.
And it becomes extremely frustrating because they are out there applying to many different things with no focus.
Wow.
So I think that's a major thing for people, is to have a focus before they do their job search strategy.
I could not agree more. I've been saying it for a long time. It's like that scarcity mentality is what gets them into a place, like you said, they go straight for the security of things instead of what they really want. And I wonder, this is just a little side question, would you agree that kind of creates some type of unconscious belief that their dream cannot consist of security? Like almost like they're already associating what they really want to do without money.
Right. I don't think that money has to come into play a little bit, but it's not the major focus. Is what do you really want to do? What makes your heart sing? What are your strengths? What type of fulfillment? What difference do you want to make in the world?
Absolutely.
What makes you fulfilled is really what you should be thinking of first.
Absolutely.
And then think about money after that.
Yes. It's supposed to be it's a byproduct of what you do.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Okay. Thank you. So now I just kind of want to tap in a little bit about what you do, because I find it fascinating. You have an amazing 4-step process that helps people find what they're looking for in a job, and you call it the life process. I find that really awesome and intriguing. Could you tell us a little briefly about what that life process is?
Sure. Well, LIFE is actually an acronym. So the first letter, L, is listen to your heart, what we've been talking about. Because a lot of my clients tell me, I knew what I wanted to do way back in elementary school, but I've been told, no, you shouldn't do that. You should pursue something else. And they do that, and they've always regretted. doing that. So then they're coming back saying, I'm not doing what fulfills me. So I think that's so important. What is your heart telling you that you're really, really wired to do?
Wow.
And then the second letter is I, and that's what we talked about, initiating your grand vision. What is your vision of what you would like to do? And then that's
I'm like thinking of it now. Like, thank you.
And that sets the foundation. And then for F, it's formulate your plans. Then you can start doing that job search strategy. And then E stands for executing your plans. So making the plans and then executing them.
Very, very good. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I think that's going to help a lot of people out there. Those are simple.
They are
very simple.
Yeah.
And that's what so many of the good things in life are. Thank you so much for that. So I want to share a little bit of research with you. According to the American Psychological Association, a job or career has a huge impact in one's health and well-being. So with your expertise and experience helping many people find their desired career, what have you discovered about the importance of a person's health in choosing their career?
Well, I'll just give you an example of a client that I worked with. She originally thought something was wrong with her health. So she worked with a health coach, which is great. I highly recommend health coaches. But they were looking at what was the initiator of the health problems, and they found out it was her career that was causing her so much stress, affecting her health. So then I began to work with her, and we started with what makes your heart sing. And she found out she loved the work that she did. However, it was the culture that she was in that was causing her so much stress. So we were able to transition what she did, her work she did, into another culture. Actually, it became a nonprofit culture, and she loved it.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And I met with her recently, and she looks great. She's
awesome.
lost weight. She's doing some activities that her other job did not allow her to do, outdoor activities. She's climbed Mount Bora. So she's been able to really just shine in the job that she's doing.
That rejuvenates me, just hearing that story. Wow, thank you. Okay, great. So, I mean, even the things that they're finding, there's way around it. We can just be aware of that and of our health. I mean, it's even important to your health to choose what you want to do.
It is, because stress causes, as we've looked at the studies, a number of diseases, and there's all kinds of things it can cause if you're not in the right environment, doing the things you love to do.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so now also statistics are showing that more and more students are graduating with a lack of preparedness for the workforce. So from what I've gathered in my studies, because I'm also a psychology student, if you couldn't tell, so I've just recently we've actually been going over some of these things about the workforce and choosing a career. And from what I've gathered, this all seems to come from poor discipline early on in the academic career. I'm curious, what would you advise current and future students to do to make sure they're fulfilling their career goals and after graduation?
I would tell them to explore a lot of different options, to go out there and talk with people. So if you're interested in, let's just pick a career, becoming an attorney, go out there and talk to different attorneys and see what they like, what they don't like, because the job is very, very different that you look at on paper than when you experience it talking to someone. We call them informational interviews, and that is a way that you can explore a career very differently than just looking at it on the screen, perhaps. So I would suggest that students talk to a variety of different people, a variety of different professions that they are considering. And maybe do some job shadowing. What better can prepare you than doing some job shadowing?
Absolutely. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Now the next thing I wanted to cover, just a little bit on that note, is do you believe that college is required for someone to find a fulfilling career?
It's a good place to start, but do you have to have a college degree? Absolutely not. We have all kinds of successful people out there that do not have college degrees. Take, for example, Steve Jobs.
Absolutely.
Very successful person in several different areas, and he does not have a college degree. So is it necessary? Absolutely not.
Well, that's good to know. You hear that? So there's no reason, even if you can't afford college, maybe that's a sign to start somewhere, and you can go later after you start doing something that you like right now. That's really exciting. Okay. So for many people, finding a career is surrounded by expectation, like whether it be their family, their friends, or even themselves. And as we know, this can cause stress, and stress is not always healthy stress. Do you have any input for those that are worried about making the right choice?
Well, often that choice, you think, I only have one choice in my life.
Right.
As I've looked at different studies, most people have between 10 and 14 careers in their lifetime.
Wow.
So don't feel like you have that one choice and you have to get it right, because you may reinvent yourself several times in your career. So I wouldn't worry that you're not making the perfect choice. Just try something and see if that is a good fit for you.
Oh, I tell you what, that's reassuring to me right now.
Yes.
I've probably already had those 14. It's crazy. Absolutely. So thank you so much. That's very helpful. I mean, I know that could help other people, but that helps me just as much. So thank you, because I know from my experience, absolutely, you know, something doesn't work, so you move to something else, and there's always that perspective that you feel from those closest to you, that, like, you know, why can't you get it together? Why can't you hold a job? You know, because there's still that industrialization perspective nowadays that tells you should be somewhere for 40 years.
Yes.
Or that you should be somewhere, you know, and get your retirement plan set up. And I just know that this day and age, we're kind of moving away from that. There's less and less working for someone else for a long period of time, to finding what we really love to do, and whether it's working for yourself or someone else, your experiences tend to lead you to that. At least that's what I've experienced. Would you agree?
Yes. And as your life evolves, you're going to be interested in different things.
True.
So it's just allowing yourself to grow and your career to grow with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Now, it is suggested in research studies as well that technical training is the most pervasive form of training that is happening right now, and it's also projected to supersede 85% of all other forms of training. How would you recommend people use this knowledge to their advantage when they're searching for the career they want?
Well, looking at different studies, we know that you have to keep upping your skills. So education is really important, and I think with technology, definitely with the STEM careers, that they will be popular. We know that the highly technical people are very sought out, and that there's a skills gap. So the more technical training you can get, I think the better off you'll be, because you can use it anywhere.
You recommended STEM positions or jobs. What is that?
Science, technology, engineering, and math careers
okay.
are things that we know are very needed now and in the future. In fact, there's a gap right now, skills gap for those type of careers.
That totally matches the studies that I've read as well, where that's one of the things. We've got writing and English, and also mathematics, that seem to be a deficit in those that are graduating. That's interesting. So maybe that's where that gap comes from. So that's important to know, with as much technology that's coming out right now. So thank you. Yeah, that's going to help out a lot. So just, is there anything else that you would like to share with those that are still looking for their career path right now?
I'd love to share a quote by Steve Jobs.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
This he quoted he talked about at his 2005 commencement address to Stanford University.
Okay.
So I'll read it. You've got to find what you love. And that is true for your work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large portion of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to believe what you do is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. And with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking until you find it. Don't settle.
Oh, wow. That's magical. Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you, Stacy. I really appreciate that so much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, it was an honor. And to everybody watching, her information is going to be available right after this. I don't know where it'll, middle of the screen. That's where it'll be, just to make it nice and easy. So if you want to find out what you're trying to get here and you need a fulfilling life, please reach out to her. She's wonderful. She can help you. Thank you guys for watching.